it's time. The package has finally arrived. We have 80 cards coming back from SGC that I'll unpack here in a minute, reveal on the channel, and share with you all in the community. So let's turn this camera around. I'll get this unpacked and we'll get started with the reveal. Just a quick recap. I know people don't want to look at me real quickly. These are cards that I picked up from a purchase I did at the beginning of May, which is predominantly going to be football cards from the 70s and 80s. All the big major rookie cards are going to be included in there. So I'm really excited to be able to show you those. And I submitted a whole bunch of them for grading, including some ones that I owned to upgrade out of that collection, and I'll be selling these. So at some point I will be doing a part 2 video, which I will show all the graded cards that I have available for sale. And I'll talk a little more about that when I do that video. But for now, we're gonna look at those cards, and we're gonna look at 22 additional cards that I submitted for my personal collection, many of which are gonna be going into this room, which is gonna be the second to last thing before I'm gonna be able to say this room is officially done. I should have it maybe done as early as next weekend, as I'm waiting for something to come back that I got framed, and I will hang it up, and then I'll work on the video. So enough of me talking and looking at me. You wanna see what's in this box. So let me turn this camera around and I'll share it with you now. All right, welcome back. Here the camera's turned around, so now we're gonna go ahead and get started. So 79 of the 80 cards got graded. I would say there was no major surprises with the cards I got returned. I would have loved to maybe had a couple that like knocked me off my seat. That just didn't quite happen. But with that said, I'm pretty pleased with most of the grades I got back. There was one particular player's cards where I actually had multiple of them that really got torn to bits by SGC. So that was kind of a surprise because all the other ones I thought were pretty fair in their assessment of the grades and stuff like that. So it was kind of a surprise when I got that one back. So again, this is 80. I had one card come back with evidence of trimming. This is one of the rookie cards that I tossed in, the Fisk. Rookie card, so there must have been something. This might have been the corner. I also saw that it was a little bit bent on there possibly. So this was kind of one where I was like, okay, do I throw it in? Do I not throw it in? So I guess no harm, no foul with it. So that's the only one that didn't get graded. I do have one card in this order where I do need to contact SGC. I doubt they'll do anything about this, but they actually damaged the card. And it's one that I'm not okay just kind of saying, okay, it's fine. But we'll get to when I get to that one, I'll point it out. All right, so let's get started. Some of these are going to be mine. Some of these are going to be ones that I'll potentially have available for sale. I didn't sort them prior to doing this video, so they're just going to kind of be alternating probably between mine and ones that are available for sale. So the first one we have here, it's in the sleeve here, so sorry about the glare, is the 1967 Topps Who Am I Babe Ruth. No instructions on back. I didn't know there was variations of this card. I thought they were all kind of the same thing where they had like a coating on here that kind of masked the player, and you'd scratch it off to figure out who it was based on the clues on the back. But apparently there's one that had like no coating on it whatsoever, and also ones with no instructions. So you wouldn't have known what to do on this one. I wonder if it ever had the coating. But I'm happy to have it back in my collection. I can see there's a little bit of glare here, so let me see if I can adjust this so we see the scores and we don't see the glare. I'm gonna take this down a little bit so it's not so bright. Let's see, there we go. That's a little bit better. All right, now we have a run of some Topps Sapphire cards from my collection for Albert Pujols. Starting with the one from 2022 Topps Update. This is the gold refractor, celebrating him reaching 9th on the all-time hits, which actually found out recently from one of the other guys on YouTube, he actually was only 10th on there. They somehow forgot a player. I think it was maybe Paul Maltor on that list when they were putting that together. But either way, that card's numbered out of 50. Here's a 2020 Topps Sapphire. This is one of the active leaders. This is the home run active leaders. This is from the update series. This is numbered out of 45. It's the green refractor. So there we go. We got some sluggers right there for you. Got Pujols and Babe Ruth. All right, now we're going to switch to the first card I have available for sale. 1984 Topps Dan Marino in a 7. There's 3 of these in the order. So let's move George Herman Ruth, off stage. Put in Dan Marino. That one looks pretty awesome, man, I have to admit. None of them were like 100% centered, but there were some that looked better than others. That one's right up there, man. I think it looks really, really cool, really, really sharp. And we have some top golds from 2001, a subset that, or a parallel set that I love collecting. I actually am submitting to the Hall of Famers, now in for grading. Here we have Jim Thome. Jim Thome has over 600 home runs. He's kind of one of those sneaky guys that you kind of talk about Jim Thome, you kind of forget that he has over 600 career home runs. So he was no joke during his time, but I will say that his hobby is not very big whatsoever. I'm not sure exactly why that was, probably because he spent most of his time in the Midwest with the Indians and with the White Sox. So not really teams that were highly collectible and or highly, well, I guess they were successful during that time period he was on those teams because there was playoff teams for both of those. And then he kind of like hung on a little bit towards the end of a couple of different teams. But Jim Thome came back in an 8. Another one from this set. Harold Baines, nowhere else you're going to find a Harold Baines 2001 Topps Gold card in an SGC submission other than mine. Came back in 8. It is Pop 1 because no one else I think has submitted a gold card at SGC yet for Harold Baines. Maybe there has been, it's PSA. These are really sharp cards. It's kind of hard to capture the light with the light here to kind of really get the shine on them. So, but I think they look fantastic. So we're going to take down Albert here. Here's another one of mine. This one I was really, really hoping for a 10. I'm gonna take it out of its sleeve. But 9.5 it was for the Shohei Ohtani rookie card. One that I pulled by myself out of a box. So put Marino off to the side. Sort all these things out later for sure, but here we got Ohtani, Baines, and Thome. Again, nowhere else where you probably see that combination of players. That was the smaller stack, so I'm going to go into one of the bigger stacks now. I take off all the rubber bands. I think they're like 25 card stacks, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to take me a little while or close to it to kind of get them all out. So let me take these out and put the rubber bands off to the side. And get this last one off and not drop all the cards on the floor, because that would not be fun. For me, it might be fun for people watching, hearing all the cards fall on the floor. All right, we did not do that. All right, first card on this stack is another Dan Marino. Also came back a 7. This one's got the sleeve on it. Like that for protection, but doesn't present well, for sure. All right, we got another Dan Marino. Had 3 in the order, 3 7s. There you go. Move Harold Baines away. And I submitted 11 of this player, so I'll take down Ohtani, put him back in his sleeve. Move those off to the side, probably put them back the rubber band here in a minute. It's one of the smaller stacks, I'll just put it over here. But first, mini Jerry Rice's coming. This is the Jerry Rice rookie. I mentioned this before, my favorite football player and my favorite football card, hands down. It came back a 6. Next one, came back a 7. So move Marino. Another one, came back a 7. 2 7s and a 6 so far. Somehow they kept these together. Here's a 5. This is my childhood copy. The one from a pack I personally opened back in the day. All right, another Jerry Rice and another 7. That one's kind of fun. So I'll move the 5. So we have 3 7s. Here is a great one. I'm super excited, but I wanted to stay on the 7 theme for a minute. We have another 7 for Jerry Rice. These are pretty good grades on Jerry Rice cards because it's a tough set for a variety of different reasons. Then we have a 7.5. Now we're getting some higher grades on this. 7.5 up. I think they did keep all the Jerry Rices together. Oh, let's do another. Oh, we do another 7. Super pleased with the way these came out. And now we'll do another 7.5. Next one. How about we go a little higher? How about we do an 8? And man, this next one, it was the awesome one. Came back at 8.5. There's not a lot of 8.5s out there in SGC. 9 would have been close to $1,000, actually, if I were to have gotten a 9 and sold that card. So just kind of shows a bit of the scarcity to try and get a grade much higher than an 8.5. So I was really pleased with that one. And this is the one that's going to be now in my personal collection, is the 8.5. Most likely I'll look them all over and see which one I enjoy the most, but super happy with the Jerry Rices. So let me know what you think on that, man. Again, my favorite football card from my favorite player. Here we got 3 in a row of the same card. So let me take down Jerry. All right, this actually starts with the highest grade on top. 88 tops, Bo Jackson. His super rookie. Came back a 9. It's a pretty good grade on that. An 8, a little disappointed with that. And we also got an 8.5, which isn't bad. So there you go, not too bad. Bo Jackson's right there. The most exciting athletes I've ever seen. Take down Bo Jackson. I think these next 4 are the same player, so kind of fitting that we'll do it this way too. Got the Deion Sanders rookie in the score and an 8. That is a bummer. That's just going to be kind of a net gain on that one. Got a 9. It's a little better. A 9. And we got an 8.5. So that's Deion. I'll leave those up for a minute because they're going to stay with the same set, different Sanders. This starts some of this run of this player. No, I got one that's going to interrupt it. Let me put him on the bottom and just do 3 Sanders in a row. I have 16 of these somewhere in the entire order, but here let's start with an 8 for the Barry Sanders. Pretty cool. We got a 9. Go over. And another 9. So pretty good start on Barry Sanders. Happy with those. And last one from this stack is actually the highest grade of this player. Let's see if I can get these ball in focus here. Is the 1984 Topps John Elway rookie card. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. All right, so that's the end of that stack. And let's open up the next stack. I'm gonna take all the rubber bands off as same as before. All right, in case you're wondering, I submitted this order on May 30th and the grade's posted on June 30th. And I would have had it probably a day earlier if it wasn't for the 4th of July holiday. So that's when I got these back just today here on Saturday, the 5th of July. All right, so here the stack's kind of falling apart a little bit. There you go. Held it together just long enough. All right, this one's got a sleeve. I'll take it out of the sleeve too. The glare just kind of sucks. Aaron Judge, I knew it had a little issue in the corner here under a magnifying glass. I was just really hoping for at least a 9 on it, so getting it back at 8.5 on a modern card that is not rare is a little disappointing, but still Aaron Judge rookie nevertheless. He's a fun player, right? I got a few more of Topps Gold, it looks like. These are the ones that scored the lowest, actually. David Ortiz is a Minnesota Twin from 2001, Topps Gold Parallel. I think I'm gonna have to light a little bit more. There we go. It's a little bit better. Nice. Trevor Hoffman. I thought these had a better chance. That's why I was kind of wanting to submit these. Now I'll just kind of move on to the remainder of the Hall of Famers as I submit future orders of this particular set. Last one here from Gold, we got the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. We'll move Aaron Judge. There you go, 3 2001 Topps cards. More to come. Got 2 500 home run hitters. And we also have Trevor Hoffman, second on the all-time save list. Next 3 are all the same card and same player, so we'll leave these out. Start with the first, the highest grade. 68 Tom Seaver and a 5. That'll be an upgrade over mine, which is next. It got a number. I thought it would just be authentic, but it got a 1. I wasn't sure because there's a little bit of a paper loss, or a bit missing corner, I should say, not even paper loss up here. That was a 1. The color's not bad on that one though. And a 4. There's Tom Terrific. All right, staying in the 60s, the 69 Topps Bobby Hall from the Chicago Blackhawks, came back a 4. Looks like these are the remaining Carlton Fisk rookies. The first one is a 4.5. I couldn't even tell you which one was the one that was in my set and which one wasn't at this point. And then there was a 5. Came back. And they grade those cards kind of tough, man. Dylan might be able to help us with that one, since he loves that card in particular and helping with the centering on it. All right, so here's my one gripe with SGC with this order. This corner is now nicked. When I submitted it, it had 3 good corners, that being one of them. I knew this one wasn't perfect. So this is the one I wanted to contact him about because it's pretty obvious that there was something that happened between submission and grading. I know that's part of the game. I'm not, dumb about that whatsoever, but it's still disappointing. I think when you have a high value card, even though I had hoped to keep this, obviously, that gets nicked like that. I don't know what they'll do. They might not do anything, but I'll just kind of test the waters and see what happens. All right, staying with football, Steve Largent, 1977 Topps rookie. 7, that's really good. I looked at that one several times over just to make sure that I was comfortable with it before I submitted it. And I'm happy with it, that it came back a 7 on that one. Really nice looking card. All right, next 3 are the same player too. Joe Montana, 6.5. Bobby Hall. Another Joe Montana and a 7. I do plan on keeping a copy for my collection. to go with the Jerry Rice and the Walter Payton. This is my old copy. It's going to replace this one, which came back a 3. I'm actually pretty surprised it came back a 3. I'm actually pretty happy with that, to be honest. I thought it was going to be maybe lower than that, but a 3 ain't bad on that one. Not great for like an 80s card, don't get me wrong, but not bad. All right, so this one I'm pretty happy with. This is the Lawrence Taylor rookie from 82 Topps. Came back an 8. It's a really solid grade right there. Move that one. The second one, which I knew was off center top to bottom, came back a 6.5. Let's do a 6.5 for a 6.5. There we go. Now I have this run of Elways that I was hoping to see no lower than a 5, so I guess I'm okay with a 5. Centering was the big issue with these cards. It must have just been a bad spot on the cut sheet, or the print sheet, when it got cut. This one came back at 3.5, and I'm not sure exactly why. Look at the corners are still pretty sharp, and the edges are pretty sharp. It must be this paint bleed here, the print mark, and just the centering itself. That one is definitely the disappointment of the order, apart from the card that didn't get graded, and then my Walter Payton, unfortunately. Then we have a 4.5. Similar problems, the centering. So more to come. I think there's a couple more Elways, if I'm not mistaken here. I think we're not quite done seeing John in there, but I'll leave him up in the background as we... Well, here's the rest of the John. So we'll just do him, and we'll save that one for the last here. Got a 5, another 5. Take the 3.5 out, put a 5 in. 4.5. So take the 4.5 down and put a 4.5 up. Remember, there was an 8 earlier, which I was happy with. And then I'll take this one out of the sleeve too. This is a 7. So that one's not bad. Happy with that one. So the 5 and above, I'm kind of happy with this card because of its centering historical centering issues. But I was really hoping for a little bit higher. But I'm very happy with that for the most part. All right, one more Topps Gold, and then we'll take the rubber bands off the final stack here. This is Ivan Rodriguez in an 8. Put them in the corner here, and I'll start unwrapping these cards. It's the final stack. Ugh, probably should pause it now when I'm unwrapping cards. Not sure how they did the rubber bands on this one. They're all kind of intermingled, so I'm not sure how they did that. They're hard enough to put rubber bands around, so I don't know how they were able to twist it a second time. But we got it out. They're freed from the rubber bands. Oh, not quite. There we go. All right. Hey, I successfully did not knock over any of my cards. Didn't drop them. All right, so I'm going to take out of the sleeve. These are the 2 biggest cards in the order. They're going to be back to back. My Hank Greenberg that I picked up in March. The Elway. Great coloring on that one. Pretty good centering too. Just got the paper loss. So it got the highest score it could get because of the paper loss. This one is the Red Refractor from Sapphire 2021 Series 1. It is off center. I know that right to left on that one, so, or left to right, I think in this particular case. So I'm not surprised. It got a 9.5, but again, these are numbered out of just 5. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, like, you're gonna definitely do that all the time, right? So I'm really happy to get that one back, graded, encased, you name it. All right, put this back in the sleeve over here, and we'll jump into the remainder of this stack, which will take us to the end. All right, this one, there must be a chipping on here. I didn't know where. You know, I don't really I guess it's right there now that I look at it. So that's pretty low score for a chrome card, but it's still numbered out of 45, so that's kind of nice. So it is what it is. These are mine. They're going to go into one of my cases here. This one I knew had damage when I submitted it. It's got a little dent at the bottom here. You could see it when you're holding it in your hand, but it's hard to see in the camera, which is kind of strange. Usually it's the other way around, right? But again, this is the orange refractor, numbered out 25. So, I mean, come on, like what else are you gonna do on that one? We'll take down Hank, because that much as that pains me to do so, but we have a run of refractors here coming up, so Hank doesn't quite fit with modern cards. So there we go. We got the orange, the red, the green. 2019, All Smiles. He and Mookie Betts, numbered out of 25. So move that over to the corner here. Move the green. Pretty happy with those. Move back a little bit so we can get them all in frame. All right, these are fun. More 2001 Top Golds, and I think we go on a huge run of Barry Sanders cards. Mike Mussina, after he got acquired by the New York Yankees. Down the red refractor. Barry Bonds, this is the year he broke the single season home run record, which a record that still remains to this day. Take a picture here taken at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Jeff Kent in the background on the on-deck circle. Craig Biggio, 8.5, also taken at Wrigley Field. 3,000 hits there. Crime Dog came back an 8. That one I thought was perfect, so I was kind of surprised it got an 8. I don't know what the imperfection is on this card. Yeah, those are tough ones to get graded, man, but they do look really nice when they're all like encased. Last one from this order, or this series, Ricky Henderson. Came back in 8 when he played for Seattle. Pretty sweet right there. Take down Barry. So I'm happy with those. All right, now we got a run coming up of Barry Sanders cards. So let's move these down. All right, Barry Sanders, an 8, 8.5, a 9. How about a 9.5? Pretty sweet, right? Happy with that. Have another 8 coming up. Another 9. 9 for a 9. Another 9, Barry Sanders. Another 8.5. Down to 9.5. Another 9. Another 8. 8.5, put an 8 up. Crooked there. Here an 8. So little berry run is broken by one sapphire card, so let me move that one. I'll come back to that one in a minute. And I guess it's worth it because we have two 9.5 to go with the other 9.5 we have of his. Take it out of the sleeve so it looks a little bit better. .5. Just leave that there for a minute. Move the 9 for a 9.5. And the last card, I don't know how it got this order, but it's kind of standalone by itself. There's one more Albert Pujols Sapphire card. It is the from 2021 update series. It's the green refractor numbered to 50, which got replaced by the gold refractor the following year numbered to 50. He was with the Los Angeles Dodgers very briefly and appeared in the playoffs with them that year. So that is the order. So let me turn this camera back around and I'll give you a wrap up. Well, that's it. Thank you for sticking through the video. I know it's a longer one. We have 80 cards to be able to share with you. I don't know if I'll be doing a order like this in the future or not. I enjoyed being able to acquire this collection and taking the time to put into it to kind of get ready to select cards for grading and get ready cards for sale. I still have the other cards that are ungraded for sale, so you can go back to reference that video if you want to be able to pick up any of those and want me to bring those to the National to be able to make a transaction there. And I'm going to be offering the same for the majority of the football cards. I know there's a lot of glare here with the Barry Sanders right now, but I anticipate these will do pretty well, and I think people will be interested in them. So I'm happy to be able to share those with people that are wanting to acquire those. I will say, again, kind of wrapping up, I do plan on following up on that Walter Payton and just kind of seeing like, hey, you know, it's not really a concern more so than a complaint, but it is, I guess you could say it's also a complaint that the card did get damaged when it was being graded. And it's not a low value card as far as like 70s and 80s football stars go. So disappointed with that. But otherwise, I was happy with their customer service. They got back to me when I had some questions about the status of my order really quickly. So I anticipate a pretty quick response when I do contact them about Walter Payton. And yeah, I think their grades are pretty accurate. Again, I would have liked to see better grades for the John Elways, but other than that, I'm not complaining about the other players. So I'll be back soon. I have a lot more content coming up this month in advance of the National that's not National related, but just normal channel stuff. So I'll be working on those over the coming months, but I'm really pleased also to share right at the end here is I have one more item coming, as I mentioned at the top of it, for the card room. I do think it'll be here this week, which then means I can start working on putting together the card room video to be able to share with the community after, oh God, like almost 8+ months of like trying to put this all together. So, all right, I'll share just a few pictures with you of some of my favorites as we kind of wrap up. So take care.